Good morning, my friends. Today I want to share something that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. These are not secrets, they are simple habits. But remember, simple does not mean easy. If you truly want to be effective in your life, your career, your business, and your dreams, build these habits one by one. Waking up early is not about impressing people by saying you wake up at 5 a.m. That is useless if you don't use that time wisely. Waking up early is about giving yourself a head start before the world wakes up to distract you. In those quiet hours before sunrise, there's a silence in the air that calms your mind. The phone is not ringing, no one is calling your name, and there are no urgent problems waiting at your door. It is just you, your thoughts, your goals, and your clarity. Many people wake up late and rush into their day. They wake up tired, scrolling their phone, checking messages, think about problems from yesterday. By the time they get ready, their mind is already stressed. But when you wake up early, you start your day on your own terms. You can spend time planning your priorities calmly. You can read, exercise, meditate, or simply sit with yourself and think about what you want from this life. You train your mind to command the day instead of letting the day command you. When you wake up before others, it feels like you have extra time gifted to you. And if you use these early hours with focus, by the time the world wakes up, you have already won half of your day. You will notice your confidence growing, your discipline becoming stronger, and your vision becoming clearer. This is why successful people value early mornings, because success is not about working 20 hours and burning out. It is about finding the calmest, most focused hours to build your dreams brick by brick, day by day. When something goes wrong, most people spend their entire energy talking about the problem. They keep asking why this happened to them or who is responsible for it. They complain to their friends, their family, and even to people who can't help them. All this time, the problem remains exactly the same. Nothing changes by talking about it again and again. Highly effective people think differently. When a problem appears, they acknowledge it, but they don't waste their energy crying over it. Instead, their mind immediately shifts to what they can do about it or how they can turn it into an opportunity. They understand that life will never be without problems. Every person, every business, every country faces problems. What separates winners from losers is not the number of problems, but the way they respond. They look at problems as teachers. Each problem comes to teach you a skill, a lesson, or a truth about yourself and the world. Instead of asking why it is happening to them, they ask what it is trying to teach them. And once they learn, they focus on creating a solution, even if it is small. If their business faces a sudden loss, they don't waste days blaming the economy. They ask how they can serve their customers better in this situation. If their team fails, they don't keep shouting at them. They sit down, find out what went wrong, and plan how to avoid the same mistake in the future. This solution mindset builds respect, leadership, and confidence in their life. Anyone can complain, but very few can solve. And the world always rewards problem solvers. Because when you solve problems for yourself and others, you become valuable. People start to trust you. Opportunities start to come to you. Your confidence grows because you start believing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. That is the mindset that creates leaders, entrepreneurs, and people who leave a legacy. Learning is not something you do only in school or university. Many people think that once they graduate, their days of studying are over, but in reality, that's when real learning should begin. The world is changing so fast that what you know today can become useless tomorrow. Technology, markets, skills, and ways of thinking evolve every single day. If you stop learning, you get left behind without even realizing it. Highly effective people understand this deeply. That's why they make learning a daily habit. It is not about reading for hours to show off. It is about growing their mind a little more each day. They read books that sharpen their thinking. They listen to people who are wiser than them. They watch and analyze what successful people do differently. And they learn from their failures without ego. If they are in business, they study what their customers need. If they are leaders, they study how to inspire people better. If they are building a skill, they keep updating their knowledge with new tools and ideas. Even if they are busy, they spend at least a few minutes reading something meaningful, listening to a powerful podcast, or reflecting on what they learned from the day's experiences. There is a simple truth: when you keep learning, you keep growing. Your decisions become sharper, your ideas become bigger, and your confidence becomes unshakable. People respect you because you always have something valuable to share. You don't remain dependent on anyone to teach you. You become your own teacher for life. On the other hand, those who stop learning become arrogant. They think they already know enough. But the world doesn't care how much you knew yesterday. It only respects how relevant and useful you are today. That's why the habit of daily learning is the secret weapon of highly effective people. They don't compete with others. They simply become better than who they were yesterday, every single day through learning. Staying humble is one of the most powerful habits that highly effective people build. Many people think that when they achieve success, when they earn money, when people start recognizing them, they have the right to look down on others. They think humility is weakness. But the truth is, arrogance is weakness and humility is strength. When you are humble, you remain open to learning. You listen to others without feeling insecure. You accept that no matter how much you know, someone out there knows more. No matter how strong you are, there is someone stronger. This mindset keeps you grounded. It protects you from making foolish decisions out of ego. The world changes quickly. If you become arrogant, you stop listening. And when you stop listening, you stop learning. Slowly you become outdated without realizing it. Highly effective people treat everyone with respect, from the security guard to the CEO, from the waiter serving tea to the person signing big deals. They know that titles do not define worth, character does. When they make mistakes, they apologize sincerely. When they achieve something, they don't shout from rooftops to prove their greatness. Their work speaks for itself. Humility also builds trust. People feel safe around you because they know you won't humiliate them or act superior. They come to you with their ideas, their problems, their dreams. This is what builds great teams and strong relationships. People want to work with you, stand by you, and support you when times are tough because they know you respect them as human beings, not just as resources. Another thing about humility is that it gives you peace. When you don't have to prove yourself to everyone, your mind becomes calm. You work in silence and let your results speak. You don't waste time competing with others. You focus on competing with yourself, becoming better each day. Mountains don't need to tell the world how tall they are. The world looks up to them anyway. In the same way, if you build humility along with your skills, your presence alone will command respect without a single word of arrogance. Many people sacrifice their health for success. They work late nights, skip meals, ignore sleep, and keep saying they will take care of their health later when they achieve their goals. But what they don't realize is that without health, all their goals become meaningless. If you lose your health, you lose everything. Your dreams, your work, your money. Nothing can be enjoyed if your body is in pain and your mind is tired. Highly effective people understand this deeply. They know that their body is the engine that drives the success. If the engine is weak, no matter how expensive the car is, it won't run far. That is why they prioritize their health, not as an option, but as a daily discipline. They sleep well because they know sleep is not a waste of time. It is an investment to recharge their mind for clear thinking and powerful decisions. They eat clean food because they know their energy and focus come from what they put inside their body. They exercise, even if it is a simple walk or stretching routine, because they know movement keeps their body alive and mind active. When people say they don't have time to exercise, effective people smile because they know that those who don't make time for health will be forced to make time for illness later. Good health gives them stamina to work long hours without fatigue. It keeps their emotions balanced when stressful situations arise. It gives them confidence in their physical presence when they walk into meetings and command respect. They don't see health as just physical fitness. They also take care of their mental health. They spend time with their loved ones, laugh freely, and give themselves moments of silence to breathe and reflect. They understand that mental strength is equally important as physical strength. A strong body with a broken mind achieves nothing, and a sharp mind with a sick body becomes helpless. Health is not about six-pack abs or looking beautiful for others. It is about keeping your body and mind in their best state so you can do your work effectively, live your life with energy, and enjoy every achievement you earn. That is why highly effective people make health their daily priority, because at the end of the day, if you lose health chasing success, you will realize too late that health was the real success all along. Taking responsibility is a habit that very few people have the courage to build. When something goes wrong, most people's first reaction is to find someone to blame. They blame their parents for not giving them enough, their teachers for not guiding them well, their boss for not appreciating them, their team for not performing, or the economy for being unfair. They spend so much time blaming that they never have time to solve their problems. Highly effective people are different. When something goes wrong, they first ask themselves, what did I do wrong here? Where did I miss something? How can I fix this? They don't see responsibility as a burden. They see it as power. Because when you take responsibility, you take control of your life. If you keep blaming others, you are giving them control over your life. You are saying, my life is bad because of you, which means you can't change anything until they change. But when you say, my life is bad because I made some wrong choices, then you realize, if I made choices that created problems, I can make choices that create solutions too. This mindset makes them strong. When their team fails, they don't just blame the team. They ask, did I train them well? Did I communicate clearly? Did I support them enough? When their business faces losses, they don't just blame the market. They ask, did I study the market well enough? Did I innovate fast enough? Did I listen to my customers properly? This is why people respect them as leaders, because they don't run away from responsibility. They stand up and take it fully even when it is uncomfortable. Taking responsibility also makes you grow faster, because when you accept your mistakes, you learn lessons that others miss. You become wiser, more aware, and more careful in your next decisions. People trust you more because they know you won't hide your faults. And most importantly, you start trusting yourself, because deep inside you know, no matter what happens, I can handle it. Remember, blaming is easy and feels good temporarily, but it keeps you weak forever. Taking responsibility is hard and feels painful in the beginning, but it makes you powerful for life. That is why highly effective people always take responsibility, not because they are always wrong, but because they know only those who take responsibility have the right to create change. Many people wait for motivation to start working. They watch motivational videos, listen to inspiring speeches, read powerful quotes, and feel excited for a while. But the moment that motivation fades, they stop taking action. They say, I don't feel like it today. I will do it tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next week, next month, and finally never. The highly effective people understand one simple truth. Motivation is like taking a bath. It refreshes you for a while, but it does not last forever. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation is not there. Discipline is doing what you promised yourself even when you don't feel like doing it. It is waking up early even when your body says sleep more. It is working on your goals even when your mood says rest. It is completing your tasks with full focus even when no one is watching you. They don't wait to feel inspired to act. They build systems and routines that make action non-negotiable. For example, if they want to exercise daily, they fix the time in their calendar and treat it like an important business meeting. If they want to read every day, they keep their books in visible places to remind them. They make their environment support their discipline because they know human willpower is limited, but systems last longer. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you prove to your mind that you are trustworthy. Slowly your self-doubt disappears because you know, if I say I will do it, I will do it. This quiet confidence becomes your real motivation. You don't need external speeches every day. Your actions inspire you to take more action. On the other hand, those who depend only on motivation live in cycles. Some days they work hard, some days they do nothing. Their results remain average and their life remains average. Discipline, however, brings consistency. And consistency beats motivation every single time. Remember, motivation is good to start, but discipline is what finishes the race. That is why highly effective people choose discipline over motivation, because they know the world does not reward those who act only when they feel good. It rewards those who act with excellence day after day, no matter how they feel. Most people think only about today. They want quick results, quick money, quick recognition. If they start a business, they want to become rich in 6 months. If they start learning a skill, they want to master it in a week. When things don't happen fast, they feel frustrated and give up. This short-term thinking keeps them stuck in the same place year after year, always starting something new and never finishing anything. Highly effective people think differently. They understand that anything meaningful takes time to build. A tree does not grow fully in a week. It takes years of silent growth underground before it stands strong above the ground. In the same way, they think long-term in every area of their life. When they start a business, they plan for the next 10 years, not just the next 10 days. When they build relationships, they invest in trust, understanding, and loyalty, knowing these are the foundations that last a lifetime. They do not chase shortcuts because they know shortcuts often cut short your future. They are ready to sacrifice temporary pleasures for long-term gains. They work extra hours today so they can build freedom tomorrow. They save and invest money today so they can create security for their family tomorrow. They build habits and disciplines today that make them strong leaders tomorrow. Thinking long-term also makes them calm. When others panic during small failures, they remain steady. They know a single failure does not define the entire journey. They treat failures as lessons and keep moving forward. This is why they are respected as visionaries. While everyone is busy fighting for small profits today, they are building empires for tomorrow. They also understand that thinking long-term is not about delaying happiness forever. It is about creating a life where you can enjoy your achievements without fear, stress, or regret. When you think long-term, you make decisions that protect your health, your relationships, your reputation, and your peace of mind in the future. Remember, ordinary people think about the next weekend. Effective people think about the next decade. If you want to build a life that inspires others and creates security for yourself and your loved ones, start thinking long-term. Because short-term thinking might give you comfort today, but long-term thinking gives you freedom forever. The people you spend your time with shape your mindset, your habits, and your future more than you realize. Many people stay in environments that keep them small because it feels comfortable. They spend hours with friends who gossip, complain, and waste time. They surround themselves with people who tell them, "Don't work so hard, just relax," or "No one succeeds here, why are you trying so much?" Slowly, without knowing, their dreams shrink to match the small thinking around them. Highly effective people understand a powerful truth. If you are always the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. They intentionally choose to surround themselves with people who are better than them in different ways, wiser people who challenge their thinking, more experienced people who guide them, more disciplined people who inspire them to raise their standards. When they sit with people who are ahead of them, they do not feel jealous. Instead, they listen with full humility. They ask questions. They observe their habits. They learn how they think, how they make decisions, how they handle failures, and how they stay disciplined. These silent learnings shape their own character and thinking. They also build relationships with people who are positive, driven, and focused, because negativity is like a virus. If you keep breathing it, it infects your mind. Positive people, on the other hand, energize you. They don't just support your dreams with words. Their own work ethic pushes you to work harder. You feel a quiet pressure to grow when you're surrounded by people who are continuously growing. This is why highly effective people are careful about their circle. They don't waste time with those who drain their energy. They respect everyone, but they choose their inner circle wisely, because they know the conversations you have daily shape your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your destiny. If you want to know where you will be in 5 years, look at the people you spend time with today. If they are moving forward, you will move forward. If they are stuck, you will remain stuck. Effective people never leave their environment to chance. They build it intentionally because they know no matter how strong your ambition is, if your environment does not support your growth, it will slowly destroy it. Life will always test you. It will test your patience, your courage, your discipline, and your dreams. There will be days when you feel like everything is going against you. Your plans will fail. People will disappoint you. Opportunities you worked so hard for will slip away at the last moment. During these times, most people give up. They say, maybe this is not for me, or maybe I'm just not lucky enough, and they walk away from their dreams. With heavy hearts, highly effective people think differently. When life pushes them down, they do not give up easily. They may feel pain, they may feel tired, they may cry in silence, but they stand up again and again. Because giving up is never an option for them. They understand that failure is not the end, it is just a lesson, a redirection, a test of how serious they are about what they want. They know that success is not about avoiding failure, it is about refusing to quit even after failing many times. If a door closes, they look for a window. If the window is closed, they find another building to enter. They are not attached to one way of reaching their goal, they are attached to the goal itself. This flexibility gives them unstoppable strength. People around them often say, "Why are you still trying? Don't you see it's not working?" But they keep going, not because they are stubborn, but because they believe deeply that every effort counts. Even if it doesn't give them immediate results, it builds their character, their skills, and their courage. Every time they stand up after falling, they become stronger, wiser, and more confident. They also understand that giving up easily becomes a habit. If you give up once, it becomes easier to give up the next time, and soon your entire life becomes a series of abandoned dreams. But when you train your mind to keep trying despite failures, resilience becomes your habit. You become the kind of person who cannot be broken by life's challenges. This is why highly effective people achieve things that seem impossible to others. Not because they are the smartest or luckiest, but because they simply refuse to stop. They keep moving forward step by step, day after day, year after year, until life has no choice but to open the doors they have been knocking on for so long. My friends, these habits are not written in stone. You build them with practice, discipline, and patience. Don't try to adopt all 10 today. Start with 1, then 2, then 3. And remember, success is not about being faster than others. Success is about building yourself brick by brick, habit by habit, until the world has no choice but to respect your journey. Thank you.